What's up guys, it's Chris Majestic and I want to do something a little bit different today. So while I was on Amazon earlier today, I started thinking about you guys in the comment section always talking about how you want me to review cheaper projectors. So what I did was type in 4K projector. What I came across was this one right here. So this is the Auking, I guess that's how you pronounce it, Auking Mini Projector 2021. This is the top selling projector that comes up when you type in 4K projector. So not only was this projector available to be shipped to me the same day, but it's also on a lightning deal and was available for just 68 bucks. So I actually have this projector here with me. It did actually come in the mail today and we're gonna hook this thing up. And again, I'm gonna do a little bit different of a video format here. So I'm gonna sit here and let you guys experience this with me. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing open. All right. All right, get that to the side. Okay, so here you go. Auking Mini Projector, 1080p, TV, PC. Let's go ahead and get it open. Okay, power cord in the remote. Yes, it is. No batteries. So you're gonna get a power cord, HDMI cable, and an AV cable. Got this upside down. All right, so we get a user manual, instructions, how to connect an iPhone, and here it is. So this thing is pretty small. Okay, I mean, it looks like a typical, budget pico projector, I'd say. Focus ring here. You got the power jack on that side. You've got your ports here. So you're gonna have a headphone jack, a AV port, TF, so that's gonna hold a SD card, HDMI, USB, and VGA. So not too bad. So I'm gonna go ahead in the home theater area, hook this up and see what we're gonna get from it. Now, I'm honestly expecting to get maybe a 50-inch screen out of this that's gonna look decent. I'm expecting that if I go any bigger than maybe 70 inches, it's probably gonna be a little bit too dark for most people's taste. So we're gonna take this into the home theater area, aim it onto the screen, and hope for the best. All right, guys, so I got the projector set up out here, and I'm pretty sure this might be the jankiest setup that I've ever done, but it is set up. Now, luckily, most pico projectors have a 1/4-inch hole, so you can actually connect them to a tripod or a stand like I have here. This is basically like a basic studio stand that I have, and I have the NVIDIA Shield tube connected to it because it doesn't have a built-in OS for you to be able to stream anything from it. You can plug in like a flash drive and be able to play movies on it, but you can't stream from any streaming services without connecting like a Roku or something like that. And I have it projected over on my screen over here, or pointing at the screen over here. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing turned on. I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna have to be focused and everything, but we'll go ahead and fire it up. All right, so it is on. And it is a little out of focus, so we will have to adjust the focus. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and shut the lights off and get this thing in focus so we can see how it looks. All right, so I was able to kind of get the focus dialed in on this thing, and it was pretty hard because it has pretty bad uniformity, meaning that it's hard to get the image focused across the entire screen. And this is pretty common with really cheap projectors, but with this one, it was pretty bad. Aside from that, it's just really not that bright of an image. So if I hit my basement lights, you'll see how bad it washes out. Like, yeah, that's just not gonna work. You're not gonna be able to watch this with the lights on. But aside from that, it's right now projecting about a 62-inch image, and it is sitting about 6.5 feet away. Now, that is something to keep in mind if you're in a small room. So if you want to use something like this in a really small room, that might be an issue, especially if you want something like a 100-inch screen, you might have to sit at about 10 feet away. The other issue is that it's really not that sharp. So this has a native resolution of 480p, which is really just not good nowadays. Now I know it's only 68 bucks, but there are other projectors that are around this price point that have at least a 720p image, so you can get an HD image. Now it does support 1080p signals, but the projector itself only displays 480p. Now I know there are gonna be some people out there that are like, that looks fine to me, and don't get me wrong, it's not absolutely horrible, but believe it or not, for around the same amount of money, you can get a much better looking image. Now, what I am gonna do though, is try to see if I can get a 100-inch image out of this to see how bad it looks, because so far it looks like the biggest I would probably go might be like 75 or 80, but we're gonna get it to 100 and see if it's too dark for you to really be able to enjoy it. All right, so I've got this thing moved back to the second row in my home theater, and as you can see, it's sitting at about 100 inches and you cannot see with the lights on. So definitely don't buy this thinking you can project a 100-inch screen in a room with a bunch of light, because it's just simply not gonna work. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the lights off And as you can see, that is much better. So overall, again, if you're looking to get a really big image from it, it can do it. I mean, it does work, but for the money, or at least maybe a little bit more, we can do a lot better than this. Alright guys, so it's been a few days since I shot the video of the Auking projector, and I didn't feel right leaving you guys with it just being mediocre, so I ended up going back on Amazon to see if I could find another projector that costs less than $100 that might perform better. What I came across was this one right here. So I ended up buying this projector yesterday, and it's made by a brand called Goodee. Now I've actually recommended projectors from them in the past, but this one actually costs 99 bucks. What's also interesting is that this projector has much better specs than the Auking projector in pretty much every way. So after measuring the brightness, it's actually twice as bright as the Auking. It's significantly sharper since it's actually 720p instead of 480p. It has much better color accuracy, better contrast, and better black levels. And with it being twice as bright, it looked much better when I projected it at 110 inches. And aside from it having better build quality and better image quality, it also came with a free bag and a lens cap. Now the only negative things I can say about this projector is that it's a lot louder than the Auking, and even though it did have better contrast, it didn't have great shadow detail, so some of the darker scenes in certain movies lacked shadow detail. So if you're looking for a fun projector that you can pull out and have a nice movie night with your family and you don't want to spend more than $100, I would definitely recommend this projector. So after buying this Goodee projector, I went down the rabbit hole of trying to buy another budget projector that had even better image quality, but just with a little bit more money. So this is a Vivibright projector, and as you can see, this one is much larger than the Goodee projector, but it has significantly better image quality. And not only does it have better image quality, but it's significantly brighter. So you can actually use this in a home theater if you're on a really tight budget. So this projector is 4 times as bright as even the Goodee projector. It also has significantly better color accuracy and better overall image quality, and it's 1080p. So this projector is more expensive with the retail price of $199, but it also does have the $30 off coupon, so it brings the price down to $169. Now I will tell you that is a whole $100 more than we were trying to pay for the other 2 projectors, but that $100 is definitely worth it. And as far as negative things that I could say about the Vivibright projector is that it is very loud. So if you're sitting in a really small room and you don't want to sit next to a loud projector, that might actually be a problem. So generally when it comes to projector pricing, the quality usually scales with the price. So if you were to spend $300, you would get even better image quality. And I would say that somewhere around $500 or $600 is where you can start to get something that I could actually recommend for you to put in a home theater. Some of the things you're gonna see with more expensive projectors from like say $500 and up is gonna be that they're gonna be significantly brighter, they're gonna have better focus uniformity, better color accuracy, and they're gonna be a little sharper. But the purpose of this video was to give you some options if you're on a really tight budget, and hopefully this video helped you out. If it did, go ahead and make sure you mash that like button for me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss anything. Now I know there are gonna be comments in the comment section from people asking me what kind of projector I would recommend for certain budget categories. And once you start to get over $300 or $400, you can look at the best projector video that I did last year, where I have a bunch of different categories, and most of my recommendations haven't really changed from last year. So go ahead and make sure you check out that video so you can see what I recommend. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.